say, I'm just going to show you a couple of things with these three pieces of equipment: the smoking gun, the whipper, and the anti-griddle. So basically, when you use this to whip cream, you put your double cream in here and charge it with nitrous, and then under pressure, the nitrous is being forced into the cream, it's dissolving into the cream, and then when you invert it and release that pressure, the nitrous oxides forming into bubbles which expand once the pressure's been released, and so you get your foam. Probably wouldn't want to go much thicker than this with liquids you're putting in there. But this has got no butter, it's got no dairy, and it's got no egg in it. It's a mix that's basically a melted chocolate, heated water with some sugar and some cocoa powder. It can take 2 charges, and then you get a lighter textured mousse. But I quite like it with one. I think you get something smoother and a bit kind of richer. If I charge this, and then it really takes quite a lot of shaking this.
Mashed potatoes.
So this has been charged with CO2, and in here I've got some grapes that are carbonated. I've got some fresh dill. But this could be pretty much anything, like herb, spice, whatever flavour you want to use. Into there I've got 200 ml of vodka. That goes into the liquor, and then I'm literally just going to charge this with nitrous, shake it for 30 seconds, and then let it sit for 30 seconds, and then we should have dill infused vodka that quickly. Again, it doesn't have to be vodka, it doesn't have to be dill. I'm just showing you this because I think it's a good way to show it working. The nice thing about this, I think, as well, is because it's so quick, you can kind of be quite experimental and try a whole bunch of stuff out without it taking a load of your time or a huge amount of effort to do. So you can afford to try different flavour combinations and sort of see what you get and see how you want to use them. Under pressure, the nitrous and the liquid in there is going into the pores, the flavourful ingredients, so the dill is being forced into the dill. And then when I come to release the pressure in a minute, the nitrous is going to form bubbles, come back out of the dill into the liquid and bring with it liquid and flavour out of the dill. That's my best understanding. So yeah, when you're venting it, good idea to have something there. You want to, because of that effect. So you want to vent it kind of as quickly as you can get away with, because you get a more violent bubbling effect, and that's drawing out the flavour better. And again, this works best at room temperature. It's great for using in the kitchen because it's so small. To start with, it takes up very little space and it takes up very little time using this. So again, it's quite practical for serving. Not always necessarily going to get the same results as with traditional smoking techniques. So I wouldn't use this and try and emulate something that's traditionally done with another smoking technique, because you're likely to get a slightly different effect. Not worse or better, but just something slightly different. So I would kind of play to the strengths of what smoking gun allows you. Over with cling film or something similar. And it's really just to make sure that you're directing your smoke onto whatever it is you want to smoke. So just turning it on, lighting my smoking material, and covering this over. And this apple can take a fair amount of smoke. Actually, more liquid in a smaller container than I would do. I would use a slightly larger container and try and have it either as sort of thin around as possible, or like I say, agitate. One of the cool things with the smoking gun, you can create different flavoured smokes that would be difficult to do with other smoking techniques. So, like I said, here I've used dried elderflower. Obviously, apple and elderflower, pairs nicely. And I found that the smoke from the elderflower keeps a little bit of the character of the elderflower, and makes quite a light smoke, which fits nicely with this. But you can think about using a whole load of different stuff to create flavoured smokes. So different types of wood chips, dried spices, dried herbs, dried flowers, teas, things like this. You can create a whole different range of flavoured smokes. And also because of the way you're smoking things, you can smoke things that you might otherwise find difficult to do with other techniques. So you can smoke a quenelle, a frozen quenelle sorbet with this, and do it quick enough that you can have that smoke flavour on the surface of that, and serve it before it starts melting. And you can get some interesting effects. I did chocolate ice cream that I smoked with crushed cardamom pods. So you've got this cardamom flavour in the smoke. That was some things. Again, you have to see what the smoke comes out like. But some things aren't going to be nice as well. Like I tried to do red wine infused with oregano, dried oregano smoke, and the oregano smoke, dried oregano, I didn't think was pleasant. It's not with that, but you know, you can experiment a bit, and again, you know, it's quite quick and cheap to use. So at an angle, this works best. Get enough smoke into the whipper. That I can then charge this with nitrous oxide. And again, it's just it's the same. It's the same way really as we did that infusion before. So charge it, shake it for 30 seconds, then let it sit for 30 seconds. And what I think is going on with this is that the nitrous and the smoke are mixing and being forced into the liquid. So that you're actually getting the smoke's actually penetrating the liquid rather than just sitting on the surface. And again, when you release the pressure, you get the nitrous bubbling out and leaving smoke flavour infused into the apple. The final thing I'll do with the smoking gun, I'll do after this, we'll do serving dishes under smoke, which is really a service or a presentation thing, but it's a way also of serving the smoke itself with a dish, which I know a few chefs have played with, and it will mean that your first experience of a dish is the smoke itself, so you get a visual and an aromatic impact of having the smoke served at the table, and also it creates a link, like a visual and aromatic link between the technique that you've used and the smoke that you're serving and the smoke flavour you might have within the dish. So clearly you're going to need decent ventilation in the case you're doing this. Yeah, so this is like, here it's just frozen the cut edge, but this top bit here is still fresh strawberry. So again, the reason I use this in a loose bouche is because within a very small thing here, you're getting a texture contrast within that item, a temperature contrast within it, and then you've got the flavour of fresh bread, and then also the carbonation, so you're getting quite a lot sensation-wise in a very small thing. These aren't the prettiest things ever. You can quickly freeze the base of things, again get a temperature texture contrast within something. If you leave something on there, like say, dependent on some factors, you can freeze it all the way through, but because you're freezing it quite quickly again, you get a very nice smooth, with something like this, you get a really nice smooth frozen finish, because you haven't got the chance for larger ice crystals. So it's like a really nice smooth ice cream or sorbet. So that's one of the reasons I like this on the Anti-Griddle, is the bottom has the texture of a really nice smooth ice cream, and then the top has the texture of room temperature chocolate mousse. Again, one of the other things you can do is flip something like that over. So you've got it frozen on one side, and then you can freeze it on the base and have the middle still soft and room temperature, get another way of getting it. So what I've got on here is a dressing, simple lemon dressing. I think, yeah, you can see it there. It's just kind of just done like a rough shape with it. Again, the nice thing about this being open to you is you can play with different shapes and actually pattern things. Again, you can be much more impressive and creative than this, but this is just to show you the idea. It's going to melt back so quickly that you can have the effect of it melting back in front of the customer. Perhaps using heat to apply to make it do that quicker, but literally in fact that's already starting to go, the thin of it. It's like, you also think about perhaps doing that with sauces, things like that. Like Alinea do the sauce sheets that for very even saucing of things, freezing sheets of sauce or dressing, and then melting them back over a dish. And again, you can control, to a degree, you can control the rate at which something like this is going to flavour release with something like this, so you can potentially pattern in something that will then melt at a different temperature, so you get flavours coming through in a distinct order. And this, what I'm putting on it is, here is balsamic vinegar that I've thickened with Ultratex. I don't know, just marbling things. Again, with my yogurt mix here, if I just let it start to freeze at the bottom, I can then place objects into it and keep this fresh, but just have the yogurt freeze around it, just enough that they connect. Hopefully in a second, that will have done enough that I can take it off and the strawberry will be connected to the yogurt base, but still fresh. So again, it's temperature and texture.